Ooh, I forgot my.
Why are you recording so early? Oh, Yosef Steinberg's at the game, huh?
I'm busy running around with trying to make hamantash and pulled beef, but I'm having no luck.
Steinberg's in a suite at the game.
Parrish, you got to go back to work, man.
Hamantash and pulled beef?
Yeah.
So hamantash with pulled beef in it.
Yeah, I'll show you a picture. Just it kind of failed.
I don't think it can fail. That looks delicious.
But it doesn't look like a hamantash.
Who cares?
It opens up.
You got the idea, Ferris.
Yeah, I'm working on it.
What bracha do you make on it?
All of them.
1 second. Yaakov, maybe it's pass above a kisnin.
What's he making?
Hamantash and filled with brisket.
I'm taking puff pastry dough. Puff pastry dough, filling it with smoked pulled brisket.
That sounds unbelievable. Please feel free to drop off Charles bonus at my house.
Yeah,
when you come get our rubbers.
Yeah, that works out nicely.
Parrots, I'll send you my address.
Maybe for the Siyam, we can have it.
Which Siyam?
The one that's coming up soon.
When you finish Brachos, we're having a big siyam.
We're not
Sounds good.
I definitely want to be a sponsor.
Yeah.
I definitely will take sponsorship for that.
What'd you break, Jesse? What'd you break?
This is why I'm not allowed to wash glass. Only ladles.
There you go. Okay, we ready to roll? Oh, hold on a second. I gotta send.
Sroil, you've been so quiet lately, Sroil.
I was, for the few minutes that I was on last night, I spoke.
Yeah, I didn't hear.
Until Pirates muted me.
Parrots, man, he hits that mute button so fast.
Oh,
I'm the mute Nazi.
Soup Nazi, very good.
I'm the mute Nazi.
Very good.
Is that what you're going to be on Purim?
Maybe.
Very good.
Instead of a line going through it, it'll have hands.
Totally saying we can start.
Never wait for me.
Any Jenny Seltzer here,
Yes,
Natalie?
I'll get you.
Okay, we ready to roll, guys? Got a long
It's
night.
Yosef Steinberg to be at a hockey game to get to turn on his camera.
Yeah. I see we got a very serious night. We got parents making barbecues. Jesse's doing dishes. At a ball game. Yeah.
And Icky's going hiking.
By the
At
way,
least
Joe, you
hammocking.
missed out on what I was saying last night because Paris muted me. This guy who doesn't keep Shabbos is masking. He keeps kosher because he thinks it just feels wrong not to keep kosher.
Right.
Yaakov, did you ever hear the story with Liechtenstein with the mezuman?
No.
I'll send it to you. There was a whole story. What's his name said over? You know, the guy, the real estate developer guy. There was like some atheist Jewish guy who he got into a fight over, including him in the mezuman.
You serious?
You never heard the story? He bought his he bought the guy's share in Ilam Haba. You never heard this?
Oh, vaguely.
Who, Liechtenstein from the Lightstone group?
Yeah. It's a crazy story. You have to. I'll put a link on the.
Really hard. I don't know.
All right.
Don't tell Naftali about the link. Landau.
Where's Landau?
He's not. If he's not here, I'm allowed to.
Landau and Wenger are not here.
Where's Marchuk?
Marchuk's in Israel. He wants me to time it when we switch over to the next daf because he did the daf already for today. So he wants the other half.
He's going to be.
I got to remember when we go over it. All right, you ready? I'm muting everybody.
There he goes. There he goes.
Wait a minute.
All right.
No.
Where are we?
Okay, so it's a long chazorah.
Wait.
You already turn on you put on the recording a while ago, Parrots.
All right, so go ahead.
You gotta mute everybody.
You see the rest of your video today? Started posting.
Okay, so Mem Zayin is first, no requirement to give respect when traveling. Respect is required when going through a doorway, though. The one making hamaitzi has to eat first. Requirement to say things over from a Rebbe in the exact terminology that the Rebbe used. Then we said two people that are eating together and one stops, the other one has to wait. Meaning you got two of you guys sitting by the table, one stops to get a phone call, you have to stop eating. But if there's two people eating together and one stops, then you don't have to wait.
Where stop eating because of home? What does it mean?
Exactly that. Sort of like to get you to stop eating now because I'm not eating. Sort of like that's what we're saying.
You're not benching. I'm saying, what difference does it make?
No, it's because it's rude to continue eating with somebody when the guy you're eating with is not there.
A lot of these are they're not real halachas. They're like.
But this one is actually brought. This
Brought
is
down
brought,
where?
yeah, and then that's Shulchan Aruch.
Where's it derived from?
From some menschlichkeit.
That's like down a halacha. So if I
Yes,
go out
it
to
is.
meet
Sure,
this,
it's
meet this
Hatov,
not-
Reacha, Kamaycha, yeah, it's
So I go out to
not
meet
halacha,
you leave,
but
halacha is built. I can't. I stop eating.
correct. Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
The one who makes hamaitzi gets the first portion throughout the rest of the meal. Then you shouldn't cut the bread until everybody answers amen. You shouldn't answer amen too quickly. No answering.
1 second. This is not Shabbos. This is any time.
What? Yeah.
Okay.
But usually Shabbos is the time that it comes up because one person's being mitzi everybody. During the week, usually everybody makes their own brachos.
Right. That's what I thought.
Right? But no, if theoretically you would be mitzi somebody during the week, then it would apply during the week too. Right? Don't say brachos too fast. No saying.
One question on that with the challah. So I had asked, what if your father's at the table? Now, what about in my situation where my dad's not from? If we're at his table, I'm the one making kiddush and hamotzi. Should I?
Right.
Do I eat first in front of him, or do I make
It's a
sure to
good
give him first?
question. It's a good question. I think there you should still show respect to him and give
So
it to
he
him.
goes first.
Because
Okay.
the Gemara says if you want, then you could give respect for somebody else. So that would be a reason to do that. Yeah, 100%.
Well, the best way to avoid it all is just let your father
Make it, but
do
he's
the
saying
and do the
make hamaitzi for him and be mitzvah. No,
No,
the thing
for
is the
everyone.
person that makes the bracha. The person makes the bracha. It's covered because he made.
You muted him. Yeah, but nobody can hear you. You are mute.
I'm on mute.
You
Yeah.
were.
Oh, okay. Let's
For a
start again.
while.
Okay. One can join the mezuman as long as the existing people would potentially still eat. That's also halacha that's not well known. And then the chiddush in the Mishnah of Demai. Hold on, somebody sent me a picture of their chickens before, and I forwarded it to my local shaychet, so I have to send them back because they're waiting to make their chickens for Shabbos. So if anybody's interested in seeing the picture,
Huh?
What's the shaila?
You can share it if it's on your phone, Yaakov.
Why don't you send us the picture as well? In the
What's the
chat?
shaila?
Let's see.
black and blue. See? I don't know if you can see or not. Whatever.
Where's the black and blue?
Is it a chashash?
Of
So
what?
it's a
guessing-
Sephardi woman.
I'm guessing the guy, he said it was okay.
Where's
Said
the
it was
black
okay.
and blue?
It
He said it was okay.
Looks Pachas make a gris.
I don't understand what the shaila is.
What? It's black and blue. So is it
Where
chashash?
though? Where?
Where?
Yeah.
In the chicken.
Like where on the chicken?
What?
I thought
There's
it's only a
a
problem with
that there was a mum? There's a
I
shot
thought
at
it'd be
the
like-
mum, what?
It's got to be like on a joint, no?
Yeah, listen, I thought it was okay, but I just, you know what I mean? I decided to be nervous tonight, so I forwarded it to Franklin. So why shouldn't I forward it to him? He sees this stuff all day. Right?
I thought when you said chickens, I thought some Bayswater family, is starting to shuck their own chickens.
Oh, no, sorry.
1 second, Zil.
There's a
Terrible.
few Bayswater families that have their own chicken coops. Whatever. I'm not going to get
There
into
you
it.
go.
Glenda, you sound very inclusive.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm kind of jealous.
1 second.
wrong
Land down. The shaila is how you can make that joke. You're not living here long enough. You don't know.
You know.
What's wrong
Yeah.
with chicken coops? Everyone here has one.
Swile understands what it means. Landon, how do you know what that means?
I know. I've been here for 30 years so far. 25
There you
years.
go.
Yeah.
Okay. Weiter. The chiddush of the Mishnah of Demai, right? Then on Amud Beis is including a kusi and a mezuman. including an amoritz and a mezuman. Then the definition of an amoritz, which we said ultimately the biggest definition is he could be learned, but he didn't have shimish with tamid chachamim. Then the chiddush of all the not of making mezuman something anatomai, then no mezuman on a ger who hasn't had a bris and mikvah, including minors in the mezuman, and then freeing slaves. I see it was a typo there. And
what would be the shiloh on the ger if he doesn't have a bris and a mikvah? He's not a Jew.
Correct. So it's just the chiddush is that even if you would think that maybe he could be part of mezuman, so the answer is so you can't. That's really the chiddush. And then we discussed a katan, right? So we discussed the katan, so that he could, if he's mature, then he could be part of the mezuman. We'll get to that in a few minutes. Anyway, so top line mem ches amud aleph. Yeah. So we had all these strange gemaras, not strange, but that you can. Two people talking and learning can make a mezuman, and the Aron Kodesh can be part of the mezuman, etc., etc. We had all these things, and the Gemara says, "V'les hilchos." So top line mem ches amud aleph. V'les hilchos k'chol ani shmaitza. The halacha is not like all these shmaitzes. Elaki hada amar Rav Nachman katan yedei l'mi mevarchin. If a katan knows who we're benching to, meaning he understands what Hashem is, so mezamin Allah we can use him for a mezuman. Then the Gemara brings the story. Abaya and Rava habiyasmi kamei de Rava. Abaya and Rava was sitting in front of Rava. Amar lahu Rava l'mi mevarchin. So Rava asked him, who he's saying to? Like, I mean, this is sort of like Hashem is there type situation. So Rava asked him, where's Hashem? It's to the we're benching Hashem. Where is Hashem? Rava achavi l'shmei tlala. Rava pointed to the roof. Abaya nofik lebra achavi klape shmayin. Abaya went outside and he showed the sky. Amalu Rava tarvaychu rabbanon avi. So you're both going to be tamid chacham rabbanon. And how time she butzin mikatve yedia. You know, butzin is glass, it's gourds. Right? Once they start getting ripe, then you know already if it's going to be a good gourd or not. So that's what he's saying. How old can they possibly have been? Now it says
pointing to Shemaim. Like, what's shaykhus? Like, that seems very childish.
Correct. Well, they were child.
I understand, but why, that doesn't. I guess you realize it's a god, and the childish way of thinking of it is that he's up there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they were childhood friends.
Now, so here, this is a very fascinating thesis here. It's a big one, so don't get nervous. We're not doing the whole thesis. But, so the Gemara says, so that means, kechol hani shmaitza means all these interesting cases of making mezuman with Aron Kodesh, and etc., right? So if you look in the thesis, where is it? Second line up in the thin lines. It's kedai to look at this, yeah? Taisa says, "V'yesh mitzarfen katan l'tfila rakshi chumash b'yadei." Anybody hear this?
Yeah.
Right. Everybody, and they ask about this, right? So, can you include a katan?
I was waiting for you to talk about this.
Yeah, you
Rabbi,
go.
that's a big Hasidic shazach. Rabbi.
It's a Hasidic shazach.
I've been involved in non-Hasidic.
Okay, well, it's Hasidic or not. Let's see what Taisa has to say. V'yesh mitzarfen katan l'tfila rakshi chumash b'yadei.
Really.
So I'm a Rabbeinu Tam, the minig shtus who.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a minig shtus common. Yeah, the chihevi damar atu aron gavra, who just like the Gemara asked yesterday, is the aron a person that it could be a mezuman? Hachanami atu chumash gavra who is a chumash a gavra. Right? This our Gemara says that a cotton can be part of the mezuman. That's even without a chumash. Right? We never found anywhere that helps, a cotton holding a chumash. Ella ba'uvda the avor shana, the ibra shana, I'm sorry, kisha'ilim bali, okay. There we get, whatever it is, yeah? So Taisvis, Rabbeinu Tam brings that it's a shtus. In Shulchan Aruch, the Ramah brings this minig. He does bring it, he says, we're not noyig like this. Mishnah Berurah says, Shas Hatchak, I don't remember if it's a Ramah or Mishnah Berurah, one of them says that Shas Hatchak, you can rely on this. As far as I know, the minig in Moshe is not to rely on this, but it's definitely. I
heard Rav Moshe Rabbi sometimes says he could rely on it.
Yes, Rav Moshe.
The conservative shul I grew up at did something like this once. I remember they didn't have a minyan Shabbos morning. They had a woman hold a sefer Torah, and they counted her as a man in the minyan. I was there.
Okay,
where was this?
I don't think that
conservative
was
shul I grew up at.
I don't think that was
Maybe
in the
she
pasuk.
identified as a man.
Where was it?
I don't know.
Melrose, Queens.
Okay,
Where, Queen?
Melrose. What's the difference?
When Moshe Soloveitchik, I davened by one child or during the
Yeah.
week, and they had Shas O'Clock. There's nobody showing up, and he had people. Yeah, I think I've done it.
He had more than one cotton?
No, one cotton.
One cotton. Okay, whatever it is, there is a source for it. Rabbeinu Tam says it's a shtos, but it is something that you could theoretically rely on. Okay, weiter, yeah? It's getting late already. Ooh,
Didn't
it's
you
not-
guys once, didn't Sukkot in the bungalow colony?
Wait, you remember that?
I know, but I heard of it. I just remember it being
I
told
have a
over.
vague memory of somebody. I was hoping
It
that
was
I would
Moshe
get the chance.
Hertzberg or something.
Yeah, I was hoping that I would get the chance to hold the torah, but they didn't do that.
No, you hold it. You like it's on the table.
No, this here I think remember they made him hold it, even though it's schwer to hold it. Yeah.
It's other problems.
Part of the schwerkeit of holding the torah is that you really can't daven when you're holding the torah. So how do you do it? Okay.
What would you do, Lamaisa, if you were in a minyan and they did this?
What would I do?
Yeah.
No slit off. Not would I be the chazan? That's the question. Would I be part of the minyan? Because
You
hey,
see a minyan.
the chazan's got the issue, right?
Hold on, so you can't daven while holding a Sefer Torah?
A shimon esrei? No,
No, not Shema. What about stam davening?
that's not shimon esrei. Shimon esrei, you can't daven. When right, we discussed this a bunch of blot ago. You're not allowed to daven when you have something. When you're holding something in your hand that you're afraid it's going to drop, you can't properly concentrate.
What's the deal with women holding a Sefer Torah? What's the whole deal with that?
If they're tahira, then they can take.
We assume that all women are tamei?
That's a personal question. I don't know. You'll have to. If you're going to try and get,
Can a woman hold a Sefer Torah?
you're going to try and get. You'll have to ask each woman if they can hold the Torah.
I'm saying, what's halacha? Do we let women?
I'm not doing that. I deal enough with this stuff. You know what I mean? What?
I'm saying with halacha. Can you let women hold a Sefer Torah?
No, and what do you call it? Me'ikar adin, when a woman's in need, she's not even supposed to look at the Sefer Torah. And she's not supposed to really go to shul. But they say, because of busha, they allow it. But really, they're not supposed to.
Same thing with a knife? Something with a knife?
Knife?
Challah knife? No, you never heard of that?
All right, I'm interrupting, Siak. I'm going to tell Marchuk an hour and a half in, we're going to get to the next daf. So
Listen, parents
All
want
right,
to
forget
use stuffed meat, whatever thing. So let's get moving. Okay, Amr Rabbi Yehuda Breder of Shmuel. It's granted not such a hard daf, so it should go pretty fast. Amr Rabbi Yehuda Breder of Shmuel Bashelis Mishmei Derav. Tisha achlu dagan ve'echad achal yerek mitzdarfen. 9 are eating grain or washing, and 1's eating vegetables. They mitzdarf. Amr Zera Bami name Rabbi Yehuda Shemainu Ma. What about 8 eating grain and 2 eating vegetables? Shiva Mahu, 7 eating grain and 3 vegetables. Amr Lei Loishna makes no difference. Shisha Vadei Lo Mibayli. He says 6. I don't even have a question, meaning he meant I don't have a question because I don't believe 6. He didn't believe 6 eating bread and 4 would work. And the reason for that is because you need something called, there's something rive, so 6 is rive, but then he felt that you need ruba de minkar, a rive that's recognizable. Very good, right? So that's, and 7 is recognizable, 6 is not. So he didn't even bother asking. It's good that you didn't ask because you were wrong. You didn't ask because you shouldn't have asked because it's pashut that it's allowed, even 6.
So why is it good?
Hasam time in my of the ikaruba.
So why is it good you didn't ask?
The reason why it works 7, 8, 9 work because it's right. Hachanami ikaruba, but 6 is also ruba. Ve'ihu sava ruba deminkarin, and he who didn't want to even ask felt that you need a rive that's recognizable, and here it's not a rive. 6 is not a rive that's recognizable, but we're paskening that you don't need a rive that's recognizable. You just need rive, which is the way we pasken. As long as you have 6 that ate bread, 4 that didn't eat bread, you're allowed to make the mezuman. Yeah, yanai malko malchusa. So yanai hamelech. For all those that don't know the history of it, right? He was one of the malachim, milachim, kings of Beis Hashmonai, and he killed out all the chachamim because he wanted to be a kohen, and they told him, "Sorry, buddy, you're not a kohen." So he went and killed everybody. Yeah. So yanai malko malchusa krichu rifta bahadi adadi. So him and his wife were, like we had this lashon, wrapping bread, literally, and they were eating together. Since he killed all the rabbanon, they had nobody to bench for them, right? I guess he didn't know how to bench himself. So so he said to his wife, "Man yan lon gavra the mivrachlan. Who's going to give us a rabbi or a man to bench for us. Swear to me, the wife says, swear to me that if I bring you a man to bench, you're not going to be mitzar him, meaning you're not going to kill him, just like you killed the rest of the chacham. He swore to her. So I see say the Shimon ben Shetach achva. She brought Shimon ben Shetach, her brother. And she sat him down. He sat him down between Yanai Hamelech and his wife. So Yanai told him, do you see how much cover I'm giving you? Putting you right in the front next to us. So he said to him, Shimon ben Shetach said, Lav at you're not the one giving me the cover. Hashem is giving me the microli. Hashem is the one that's giving me cover. You salsa means you rub it and it will lift you up, right? Be mechaber because it will embrace you. So Amar Lei, right? So that's what he answered. He said, "You're not giving me the cover. Hashem is giving me the cover or the Torah."
So he's makbid on this, and he kills everyone else out.
What?
He's makbid on having him as a
correct. Yeah, it's very. He killed all Chacham, but he wants them to bench. It just shows you. No, you see that people can get cuckoo in the head. They get cuckoo about the Mishigasin, and they still officially are fru. You know what I mean? You get that's what you get people like that. You wonder like, how are you religious? No, but they just get a juk in their head, and they do stupid things.
Rabbi, very common today. Very common today. All the big tzaddikim. Very common.
There you go. 100%. So Amar Lei, kachazis the loy makabel maris. So he said, you see, you're not makabel anybody to be in charge. You basically he was saying like, you see, you chachamim don't even know how to show respect because I'm the king. I'm giving you respect, and you're throwing it right back in my face. So Yavalei, but he couldn't do anything because he swore to his wife that he's not killing him. Yavalei Kastel LeBruch said they gave him a kais to lead the benching. Amar Hechi Avrich, how should I make a bracha? Baruch she'achal yanai v'chaveru mishalai, because he didn't eat anything. Shimon said he was brought in to just lead the benching. So what should he say? Baruch she'achal yanai v'chaveru mishalai. So what he did was shasi lahu kais. He drank that kais of wine, so that at least he'll be included. Now he ate. So now he could be part of the mezuman. Yavulei kais achrino baruch. They brought him another kais, and then he led the benching. Amar Rava Brei Rachia Baraba, Amar Rav Yochanan, Amar Rab Shimon ben Shetach, David lagarmehu David. Shimon ben Shetach did it for himself, meaning this was his own psak. Dachi Amar Rav Chia Baraba, Amar Rav Yochanan, La'olam einay mitzi as a rabim yidei chavasan. You cannot be mitzi everybody in Birchas Hamazon at sheyochel kazayis dagim until you yourself eat some bread, meaning. So Shimon ben Shetach, what he did was, yes, he could lead the benching because he drank something, right? Even though there's a kasha on that too, but we're not going to get into it now. But he could lead the benching, but he also actually benched. How do you actually bench for somebody if you didn't at least eat some bread? Now, normally, for Birchas mitzvos, you are allowed to make a bracha on behalf of somebody else, right? And you don't have to be mekayim. We do that all the time. We have one man making kiddush for people over and over again. That's fine because it's the Birchas mitzvos. Birchas nenin, you're not allowed to do unless you're part of it, right? So what the Gemara is saying is now that they disagree with Shimon ben Shetach because it's a Birchas Hanenin to bench. So how did he do it without eating kazayis dogma? Fine. So Meiser of Shimon Galil Leimer, all of a hasted imam, afilu loy tavel imam ela betzir, v'loy achal imam ela groigros achas mitzdarif. It's through mitzdarif. If a person goes up and he leans with the people. And even if he didn't dip, dipping here means not going to the mikveh together. Dipping means he dipped bread into dips, right? He only had tzir, v'lo yachal imam ela groigros achas. He only ate one dried fig. He's allowed to be part of the minyan. It's through mitzdarif aval haitzi esaram yidei chavasan at sheyochel kazayis dagan. Yes, he could be part of the minyan, but to be mitzi everybody in the chi of Birchas Hamazon, that he's not allowed to do until he eats a kazayis dagan, right? Fine, until kazayis of grain. Itmanami. Now, so an interesting thing. At the bottom, Tyson says it's mashma that if he ate a kazayis, then he could be mitzi others. But what about the others? The others ate a whole meal, right? But we know that me'ikar adin, we're going to see the number base really is that you're only mechuyev to bench midaraisas if you're full. If you just ate a kazayis, we paskin that midrabanon you bench even if it's a kazayis. So basically, what you have here is you have somebody who's a darabanon being mitzi everybody who's a daraisa, right? That's not a simple thing. We've had some paskin that you can't do that. So Taisa says from way back in Daf Chav, why you can't have a woman, why it's bad to have a woman being mitzi, a wife being mitzi to a husband in mitzvos that she's not mechuyev in, only with the rabbanon, right? So how can you have that? So I was thinking about this. I wonder, like, so when you're eating a meal together, right? Like Friday night, and you want to give benching over to somebody, the person that's the most full should be the one to bench, right? If a guy's not so full, and he's the one leading the benching, he's a derabbanan. He's not a deraisa. He's not full. I imagine most people are going to be full after these Shabbos meals anyways. But theoretically, if somebody is not full, he shouldn't be the one to lead the benching. He's only the rabbanan. Okay, but that's a tosis there. Okay, Itmar Nami, Amar Rav Chana Bar Yehuda Mishmei Rava, Afilu Loi Tava with turning Tama base, Afilu Loi Tava Limam Ela Petzir, even if you only tabled with them in sear and brine, V'loi Achal Limam Ela Groiger Sachas, and you only ate one dried fig mitzdarif, then you can combine. But to be mitzi them, their chiyuv of benching, meaning to actually bench out loud on their behalf, you're not allowed to do until you eat a kazayas of grain. The halach is achal Allah yarek v'shasa kaisha yai mitzdarif. If you eat an olive yarek, a leaf of a vegetable, and you drink a cup of wine, then you can be part until you can't actually bench on their behalf until you eat a kazayas of grain. Amar of Nachman, Moshe Tikkun Yisrael. Now our Gemara is going to discuss how we know about Birchas.
Yeah, didn't we have the whole thing that yayin can be a suda? It's not a suda. It does satiate. It doesn't satiate. You really could bench, but the minhag nowadays is not to.
Yeah, you're right. There are right. That's very good. There are shitas that hold it on wine. You do say Birchas Hamazon.
So why
that's
do you?
True. No, because Lamaisa we don't paskin like that.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, but why is the Gemara saying Lagarbe? He did it for himself. There clearly is a makom besides rishona and shetach to do it. It's not like he was just like he went out on his own.
No, but the Gemara is assuming that. Yeah, okay. I hear. Hey, you think maybe that's what he was simon? I don't know.
No, I'm just saying like it's the same reason he's simon. Maybe.
Right.
I don't know.
Oh, I hear. I never thought about that. It's good. Yeah, very good. Yeah. Amar Rav Nachman. Moshe Tikkun Yisrael Birchas Hazon b'shashiyar lehem man. Moshe was mesakin Birchas, the first bracha Hazonas Ha'olam, when the man came down. Yeshua Tikkun lehem Birchas Ha'aretz kisha. What does the Bach say? Bach changes it. B'shasha nichmesu la'aretz. Right. Yeshua ben Nun was mesakin Noda, which talks about thanking Hashem for Eretz Yisrael when they got into Eretz Yisrael. David u'Shlomo tiknu b'nei Yerushalayim. And David and Shlomo were masakin by Yerushalayim. David tikkun al Yisrael amecha by Yerushalayim yirecha. David was masakin the first part, and Shlomo tikkun al Abayas agadol hakadosh. That's the first three brachos, and the fourth bracha vihameitiv b'yavne tiknua. And they were masakin in Yavne keneged haruge beita, for those that were killed in Beita. Damar masna oisa hayom shenitnu haruge beita lekfura, on the day that the haruge beita were given to be buried tiknu b'yavne hatov vihameitiv. They were masakin the bracha of hatov vihameitiv, hatov shelo yisrichu. The first tov was that the bodies didn't decay, right? Because the body sat for a very long time, and they didn't decay. Vihameitiv shenitnu lekfura. Not only didn't they decay, but they were also didn't lekfura. That's what the bracha hatov vihameitiv is. When you have bonus good things to happen to you, that's when you make hatov vihameitiv. That's when the new wine comes out, you make hatov vihameitiv. And that's why when somebody has a baby, so you make, if it's a boy, it's a hatov vihameitiv. If it's a girl, it's shechiyanu. But if it's a husband and wife are there, then they make hatov vihameitiv, because
if they're masakin, don't we say that?
What do you mean the husband and wife are there? What does that mean?
Because it's good for if it's on behalf of a family, so then it's hatov vihameitiv. It's good for you and for your family.
For a girl, you make hatov vihameitiv?
If it's both, if the husband and wife are there, yeah.
What do you mean? The husband's at the birth?
Yeah.
That's okay.
Didn't we say before that the first three brachos are deraisa?
So
what does it mean tiknua?
Right, so I think it's so I remember we had it with the davening too.
Right.
It's really.
But then it's funny. Beitar, you're saying Beitar is a whole.
No, but hatov vihameitiv is the rabbanon.
So that's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
So if they're masakin, what's the difference? Why can't we say Beitar is included in that?
It just wasn't. They were only sang hatov vihameitiv after the whole Beitar story.
I'm saying you're saying it's a completely different Indian.
Yeah.
Meaning they were masakin at different times. What happened before David?
Oh, I don't know. So that's why I think it's a smach tabam. The same thing that we see in Avram Yitzchak Yaakov created davening. What's really? Somebody want to say something? No. Okay.
This is a funny thing.
You're right. So let's see Vaita because there's other sheetas. Tanarabban. Say the Birchas Hamaz and Kachi. The order of Birchas Hamaz is like this: Bracha rishona, brachos azon. Shniya Birchas haaretz, shlishas ban Yerushalayim, revius hatov vihameitiv. B'Shabbos, maskal b'nechama, Messiah b'nechama. On Shabbos we start with nechama and we end with nechama. V'aymer kedusha sayam be'emtzah. We talk about Shabbos in the middle, right?
So what do you end on Shabbos?
What do you end? He's talking about in Ritzei.
Okay.
Right? Let's see. Rabbi Elazar Aimer Ritzei, Ratzah la'imra b'nechama, Aimra. If you want to say it in nechama, you could say Birchas haaretz, Aimra. If you want to say Ritzei in Noida, you could say Birchas shetignu chacham b'yavna, Aimra. If you want to say it in hatov vihameitiv, you could say it there too. Meaning, you don't have to necessarily say it in Bnei Yerushalayim. Chacham v'eino Aimra ela b'nechama. B'vad, you only say it with nechama in the rachem, right? And that's it. Chacham hainu Tanakama, so it's the Chacham is the same thing as Tanakama, right? We had the first opinion, right? The first shita was that you say it in Rachem by Nechama, and then the middle said you can say it in anything, and then the Chacham come along and say it's in Nechama. So there's no difference between the first shita and the third shita. So our answer is hainu Tanakama. The Gemara says hainu Tanakama, Chacham hainu Tanakama. So our answer you can now di'eved. The difference between them is b'di'eved, meaning let's say if you b'di'eved did say it in the wrong place. So the first shita would hold that it's okay, and the second shita would hold that it's not okay. You have to bench again. Right? Fine. Oh, so how do you know Birchas Hamaz is from the Torah? Right? So you should eat and be satisfied. That's how we know that the deraisa you only if you're fully satisfied. That's Birchas Hazan. As Hashem Alikecha, zu Birchas Hazimun. Right? Al Haaretz zu Birchas Haaretz, hatov zu bein Yirushalayim. V'cheinu aimer hatorah hatov zeh aval avana shenosan l'cha zu hatov shenosan l'cha zu hatov vihameitiv. Yes, ainly al acharav. So that's it. Those are the sources for the from the deraisa. So I think Akiva, the way it is the same way we had for Avram, Yitzchak, and Yaakov made tefillas, even though it's connected korbanos. Right? So the same thing here. So the Gemara says, this only tells you that you make Birchas Hamaz after you eat. How do you know you make a bracha before? We had this before, correct? When you're full, you have to bench. When you're hungry and you actually get food, so no kolshaken that you have to bench. Rabbi Yomi, you don't need this. Right, like we said before, Birchas Hazimun, you don't need the pasuk that you have from Gadol Hashem Iti or Kishem Hashem Ekra. Right? Al Haaretz zu Birchas Haaretz, hatov zu ban Yerushalayim, v'cheinu aimer hatov zeh levanin hatov vihameitiv b'yavne tiknu, and they were musagim in Yavne. So you see the machlokes here. The first shita holds that hatov vihameitiv is not. It's the Raisa. And this one is saying they were musagim in Yavne, which we know is a machlokes whether hatov vihameitiv is the Raisa or not. Anyway, al achar of the fun of minyan. That only tells you after eating. How do you know before time? It's that he gave it to you, right? From when he gave it to you, which is before, right? You make a bracha from when Hashem gave you the food. Now this is the third shita of where Birchas Hamaz comes from. You don't need this. It says, and you should bench, and you bench the bread and your water. Right? And you did bench. When is it called bread? Before you eat. You don't need that either. Listen up to this, you guys, because some of you guys are going to like this Gemara. Right, so this pasuk says in Shmuel, when Shmuel came to the city, you'll be able to see him before he goes up to the Bama Lecho to eat. And because the nation's not going to eat until Shmuel comes and brings the karbanos. He benches the karbanos, and then after that, all the invited people eat. Right? So you see that they make a bracha before. Right? That's the raya from the Gemara. Now the Gemara goes off on a tangent. So basically, these were ladies telling him how to find Shmuel. So the Gemara asks, why did they need to say such a long pasuk? Just tell us where Shmuel is. So the Gemara answers, because women talk. That's why the pasuk is so long, because women, that's the way women are. You ask a woman a question, you ain't gonna get a straight answer. They're gonna go and say a whole long-winded answer, right? So that's what the Gemara is saying, right? Nashim or Dabrani is saying. But Shmuel Amar Kedei Listaka B'Yafi Shol. The reason why they said is that they want to look at the beauty of Shol. I think I said Shmuel before. It's in Shmuel, but it was talking about Shol. From the shoulders and on, he was higher than everybody else.
I granted I have a similar issue than that.
Huh?
I have the same issue like Shol, like you just said over.
What?
Is it loud now?
I don't know who's talking.
And now I'm with mommy here.
Oh, it's Mordechai. Ah.
Oh, you can't see me?
You have the same issue, huh?
I'm like Shol.
We're trying to save you from that issue. Yeah.
Make sure to kill all the animals.
The reason why they had to talk so long is because one kingdom can't overlap another one, right? So even for the width of a hair. So Mamela, it wasn't yet time to go on to the new malchus. So therefore they had to talk long until it was over. Okay, so that's it. Now on to the next thing. This only tells you that you have to do Birchas Hamazon. How do you know you have to say Birchas hatorah? If you have to make a bracha on chayesha, which is food, which is temporary just for this world, so on chay olam haba lo kol shekain. Fine. And it's you don't need it. It says on this good land that I gave you. And further it says as luchas ha'evan mitzvos, and I'll give to you the luchas ha'evan Torah mitzvos. So you see that we're going to learn out that it's the same, that you have to make a bracha on Eretz HaTorah Shanas Allah, which is referring to food. So on Torah,
why don't we make a bracha on Torah?
Why don't we make a bracha on Torah? Yeah. So how do we answer that?
So you go to sleep.
We don't.
Every morning you're saying it again. So.
Right. L'chayra, because you don't. Right. L'chayra, because it never ends.
You're saying you'll just go till the next morning,
right?
But you're going to make the bracha again.
Because that's a different shot. If you're up the whole day, it's a machlokes.
Right, but if you're going to sleep, you know you're being mesiach das from it. So then l'chayra, you should be making bracha.
You should be having dreams of Torah, which is the night.
Can I go to sleep with my soul on? I'm being mesiach das. What does that mean?
Okay, I don't know. So Rameir says, how do you know that just like you make a bracha on good things, you also have to make a bracha on bad things? Hashem Elokecha. So you have to, any din that Hashem judges you, you have to, whether it's good or whether it's bad, you have to praise him. If you don't need it. Taiva zu Torah. Taiva is referring to Torah. Hatov zu bin Yirushalayim. So Taiva is referring to Torah, and hatov is referring to bin Yirushalayim. Like we said before, that's the har hatov hazev alavani. That's referring to Yerushalayim. Fine.
Song of the daf.
What?
Song of the daf.
Oh yeah, very good, very good.
What do you think?
The song of the daf.
Oh.
Tani Rebbe Lazar, Koshel Yomer Eretz Chem the Toy ורחם Birchas Haaretz u'malchus based over Bnei Yerushalayim la'yotzi dei chavasa. If you don't say Eretz Chem the Toy ורחם in Noida, and if you don't talk about the malchus based David in Bnei Yerushalayim, then you're not yotzi yachayv. Nacham Azakon Yomer Tzarich sheyisko ba bris. You need to mention the bris. Rebbe Yossi Yomer Tzarich sheyisko ba Torah. You have to mention it Torah. You have to put bris before Torah. One was given with three brises, three, and Rashi says in three different places in the Torah. And this is given with 13. Torah was given with 13, right? What do you say? Plima is the name of the shita. Yeah. You have to say Haidah, thanks, in the beginning and the end. And if you don't do anything less than one, if you do less than one thanks, then that's disgusting. If you again, we don't have these terms, but if you sign off the bracha of Noida by saying, Moshiach es Yisrael, I'm sorry, Manchal Artzos, and you end Yerushalayim with Moshiach es Yisrael, then you're a bor. A bor means
Not a good thing.
a bor. It's onomatopoeia. It sounds, it's a bor is a bor. He's a bor.
Not a good thing.
Not a good thing.
A bor is
Correct.
a bor.
A bor is like a bum. He's a bum.
Ignoramus.
Oh, is that what they type it?
Yeah.
There you go. An ignoramus.
Okay.
Fine. Right, so we said that if you don't say bris and Torah and noida, and you don't say malchus based on Yerushalayim, so you're not yotzi chayv. Misayel Rabbi Loza, Rabbi Loi, Dam Rabbi Loi, Amar Rabbi Yaakov, Berachos, Mishum Rabbeinu, Koshali Amar bris v'Torah b'Birchas haaretz, malchus based on Yerushalayim, yotzi dechavasei. Fine. One says that hatov vihameitiv needs the word malchus, which is Elokeinu melech haolam, right? And one says it doesn't need malchus. It doesn't need Elokeinu melech haolam, which we know that we paskin obviously like this second opinion that we don't say, right? We says Baruch to Hashem. Does it say? Yeah, I'm tired. What are we saying? Okelavinu? I think we do say Elokeinu melech haolam, right? We do say it. Yes, I'm sorry. We do say it. The one that says that it's malchus, see this now. This is a little bit opposite of what you think. The one that says that you say malchus holds it to rabbanon. So therefore, what? Right? It's therefore, since it's the rabbanon, it's not part of the rest of benching. So therefore, it needs malchus because it's not connected. So it's not a bracha smucha l'chaverta. And the one says it doesn't need malchus because it's a new thing. It's not part of benching.
Okay, that's what we vote.
Right. The one says it doesn't need malchus, it's deraisa. And then Rashi says not al tzbrachos muchal l'chaverta. It's basically an extension of noida. It's the end of noida. Yeah? Fine. What are you chaysim ben Yerushalayim? Rabbi Yosef, Rabbi Yudah, Mashiach Yisrael. So the Gemara says Mashiach Yisrael in ben Yerushalayim loy ela ema af Mashiach Yisrael. So here the Gemara is saying that you should say Mashiach Yisrael b'nei Yerushalayim. Fine, that's obviously not what we do. What he did is he started with one, right? He just said, instead of saying Rachem Hashem al Yisrael Amelchav al Yerushalayim Yirecha, which is two things, and Hashem should have Rachmanis on Klal Yisrael and on Yerushalayim, he just said one of them. But when he finished the bracha, then he's finished off with Mashiach Yisrael b'nei Yerushalayim, right? Which is again not what we do, right? We do two in the beginning and one at the end, correct? Again, Rabbi Bar Rav Huna Ikla Lebeirish Galusa Pasuk B'Chada B'Sayim B'Tarti. He started with one Rachim, and then he ended with two. Amar Rav Chisda Gvurta Lemechtam B'Tarti. Is this a thing from the word Gever? Is this a thing to sign off with two different tefillas? Fatani, we learned the rise of Rebbe. We never sign off a bracha with two different. We don't add two things together. We'll see what that means in a second. Gufa, Rebbe, you do not sign off on a bracha, meaning you don't say Bracha to Hashem, etc., with two things in one bracha. So Eisvei Levi the Rebbe say Levi asked the Kash on Rebbe, Allah Aretz v'Ala Mazayin. Don't we say Bracha to Hashem, Allah Aretz v'Ala Mazayin? Isn't that two things on land and on the food? So he answered, Eretz the Mafka Mazayin. No, it's one thing. We're thanking for the land that gives out food. Right? So then he says, okay, we say Allah Aretz v'Ala Perus. Right? And when we eat fruit, we say Allah Aretz v'Ala Perus. That's two things. So the same answer, Eretz the Mafka Perus. What that means, it's land that's giving off fruit. Mekadosh Yisrael v'Hazmanim. It says, right, we say this on Yom Tov, Mekadosh Yisrael v'Hazmanim. So again, we're combining two things, Yisrael and the Hazmanim. So the Gemara answers, no, that's talking about Yisrael, the Kachinul Hazmanim. Who are the ones that Mekadosh Hazmanim? Klal Yisrael. Mekadosh Yisrael v'Rosh Chodashim. Oh, now we have it, that's this week, right? Rosh Chodesh benching. So okay, it's a little bit in your name, right? There we say Mekadosh Yisrael v'Rosh Chodashim. So one answer is Yisrael de Kachinul Rosh Chodashim. That means we're benching Klal Yisrael, who makes Rosh Chodesh. Oh, Mekadosh Shabbos Yisrael v'Hazmanim. What about that? When Shabbos falls out, on Yom Tov, or Yom Tov falls on Shabbos, so we say Mekadesh HaShabbos v'Yisrael v'Azmanim. So when it says Chutz Mizu, except for this one, right? Right. So what's the pshat? Umay shno hacha chadahi hasam tarti kol. Right. Umay shno hacha. How do you read this here? Umay shno hacha.
Why would you have to have one?
No, Maishna. What? No, I'm just trying to remember how to read this. Maishna.
That you have to have one, and then over there you let him.
No, so Maishna was in Hachachad. He Hasam Tarti. Here it's one. It's one thing. There it's two. Kol Chado Chadav Api Nafsha. Each. No, I'm sorry. No, Maishna Hacha. So we say, Hachachad. Here it's one. Hasam Tarti and Kol Chado Chadav Api Nafsha. Each one. There it's two, but each one is by themselves. The time of Mayin Chaysim B'Shtayim. Okay, so that's what it's saying. So the time of Ma'is ain't chaysim b'shtayim. So why is it that we're not chaysim with two? The fish ain't chaysim mitzvos chavilas. We don't bundle mitzvahs together, right? We want to do each mitzvah separate. Yeah, my havela. Well, what's the bottom line with this? Rav Sheshes pasuk Berachim. Right? How do we do the benching? So Rav Sheshes pasuk Berachim al Amchi Yisrael chaysim v'Mashiach Yisrael. If you started Rachim al Amchi Yisrael, so then you finish the bracha by saying Mashiach Yisrael, pasuk Rachim al Yerushalayim, chaysim v'an Yerushalayim. Meaning you keep them symmetrical. If you thanking Hashem for Klal Yisrael, so then, or on behalf of Yisrael, so then you say Mashiach Yisrael. If you're saying Yerushalayim, then you finish over Yerushalayim. Pasuk Rachim al Yisrael, chaysim v'an Yerushalayim, which is the way we paskin. Even if you started with Yisrael, you finish over Bani Yerushalayim. Shenever Bani Yerushalayim Hashem nitchei Yisrael l'chanis. Right? Hashem is going to build Yerushalayim, and the escapees of Klal Yisrael are going to come in. Amosai Bani Yerushalayim Hashem is much in nitchei Yisrael l'chanis. When is Yerushalayim going to be built? When all the refugees come in. Let's come here and learn. I don't even know how to bench. I should come learn with you. What are you talking about? You don't know how to bench. I traveled to the Reish Galusa, and I said Birchas Amazon, and Rav Sheshes stood up, like straightened out like a snake, like when a snake goes up to try and bite. That's what Rav Sheshes did to me. And why did he do that to you? I didn't say not bris, not torah, not malchus, right? Which we had just got finished saying before, right? That if you don't say, you're not yotzi. Right. So he did this by the Reish Galusa. So the Reish Galusa was very unhappy with him, right? Why didn't you say it? So he said, because I'm doing like Rav Chananel b'shem Rav. If you did not say bris, Torah, and malchus, you're a yotza. Why? Bris l'fisha ena benashim. Bris is not by women, so Birchas wasn't is by women. So if you didn't say it, you're fine. Torah malchus l'fisha ena loy benashim v'loy b'avodim. And Torah malchus is not by nashim and not by avodim. So that's why I went like Rav Chananel in the name of Rav. So he tells him, and you left all these Tanoim who don't say like that, and you did like Rav, so of course he got angry at you. Why are you going with a minority opinion? Why are you doing different than everybody else just because you want to do like a minority opinion? So that's why he got upset at you. So doesn't mean, so I guess the end of the story is doesn't mean you don't know how to bench. It's just, you could come learn. It's just you, for some reason, decided to go with the minority, with Rav.
It sounds like it's a bit diavad. You're yotzi, but it doesn't sound like you should do that. Why
you should not. Right.
No, even though
that's what he
says you can, it's not saying you should.
Correct.
So why would he do that?
I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Amar Rava Rachana Rabbi Yochanan. Hatov vihameitiv tzricha malchus. Hatov vihameitiv needs malchus. Meaning you have to have Elokeinu melech elamai kamashmalon. Kol bracha shein b'malchus lo yishma bracha. It's teaching us that any bracha. I'm sorry. My kama is the question. My kamashmalon kol bracha shein b'malchus lo yishma bracha. Are you trying to say that any bracha that doesn't have Elokeinu melech elamai is not a bracha? Amar Rabbi Yochanan chad zimna. Rabbi Yochanan already taught us this, which we had how many blot ago? A while ago. Right? So you need to have two malchus. You need one for itself and you need one for Bnei Yerushalayim. You need three. And then you should need three. One for it, one for Bnei Yerushalayim, and one for Noida, Birchas. My time aloi. So why don't you have to have a malchus in Noida, which we don't have, right? Noida doesn't have any Elokeinu Melech Olam, right?
Right.
Because it's a bracha smuchel chavata, right? Noida piggybacks on Hazon as a call. But Yerushalayim nami like the bayit havila bracha smuchel chavata. And Bnei Yerushalayim also doesn't need because the bracha is chavata. Who hadn't afilu Bnei Yerushalayim nami like bayit? Really, Bnei Yerushalayim doesn't need it. I did Amar malchus based David. But since you're saying the malchus based David in it, lab the delay Amar malchus shemayim. Since we're discussing David, then it's not derech eretz that it should be. We shouldn't say Hashem to Rav Papa Amar Ochikon. Rav Papa says this is what the Gemara. This is what it means to say. Tzricha shtei malchus levar medida. It needs two malchus besides for it. I mean besides for the Hakalavino. Yosef Rav Zera Acharid Rav Gidel. Rav Zera was sitting behind Rav Gidel. Yosef Rav Gidel Kamed Rav Huna. Rav Gidel was sitting in front of Rav Huna. Yosef he was saying, Tov Hiska Shabbos. You know what? We should stop here because this is a new sugya. This is a new sugya. It goes on to my base. So I guess, let's stop here. All right. Good enough.
Hold on. Shabbat
Shalom.
Tomorrow night. Saturday night. What are we doing?
Oh, yeah. Malchus Shabbos. What time?
Well, what time is the yard site?
9.
So what are you going to do?
I don't know. Whatever you guys say. I don't see why we can't start 9. The yard's not going to start at 9 sharp.
Why don't we start at 7:30?
7:30. We got the obviously bottom business. I think 8:15.
Okay, so all right, or maybe 8:30. I'll send it out.
8:15. We're still at obviously bottom.
What should Icky make then? What's it Icky?
Icky will have to listen. Alio, right? Shabbos. It'll still be Shabbos over there. Is he there?
Shabbos ends at 6:50 my time.
6:50. 50.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
What?
It is what it is. I mean,
okay, I guess we'll have to.
Away so fast. I didn't see you.
Officially, Abbas Abanim is over 8:35.
What do you say?
8:35. Abbas Abanim is over.
Well, what do you mean? I'll go back.
Oh, I forgot about
I
that.
have to go back.
I already ordered.
I want to let you know.
So 8:45.
8:45. I guess we could do 8:45. Yeah.
I don't care. I could set everything up. We can do it earlier. It's up to you.
Yeah. Okay. So 8:45. 8:45. Let me see. How big a daf is it? How big a daf is it?
That's right.
It's not so big, and I don't think it's not so big. It's not so hard. So yeah. Okay. 8:40.
Modify. I do prepare, make sure that
Up to you. You want to do it at 8:30? I don't mind. 8:15.
That you know.
Also fine.
It's 8:15.
Where is my car, Tia? Do
8:15
you
is
know?
better. Yeah,
No. I'm just saying I'm in
What?
Brooklyn.
In my
So
driveway.
I'm going to drive right back. I'll leave right.
Okay, so I'll send out the invite on the chat.
All right.
Okay.
my vote is the later the better. But you don't have to. Don't take